It's the start of the 2025 NBA Finals, with the Pacers on one end, but on the other side would be Steph and his Golden State Warriors. Because today, not only is Curry the greatest shooter to ever touch a basketball, but he's also the greatest dunker ever.
Push ahead, Curry down the lane, and he rammed it home!
However, before we see how these finals play out, we're first going to go back in time to Steph's rookie year and play out his whole career with a max dunk, which actually wouldn't look too much different in the first year for Steph. Of course, he'd still be an unbelievably elite threat from beyond the arc, which forced defenders to play up tight, only opening the lane for his now spectacular finishing ability. Yet his rookie campaign wasn't much different than our reality. His stats would be very slightly improved from real life, adding in a couple more points and an extra assist per night, which was enough to now give him the Rookie of the Year, but unfortunately his season would meet the same fate. He and his Warriors would be falling short of the playoffs, but things were about to spice up very quickly. Because going into year 2, Steph was already beginning to be all the buzz around the league, pushing his scoring averages up over 5 points a night, now cracking the top 10 in the entire league for points per game. This will end up earning him the honors of the league's most improved player this season, and that wasn't all. Curry was already making an all-star appearance, something he wouldn't do until year 5 in real life, and post-all-star game, he was even hotter than before, continuing to light up other teams with his jaw-dropping shooting abilities, and then dazzling fans with astonishing dunks the very next play, resulting in him being selected to an All-NBA team. And as his team makes the playoffs, I was shocked. I did not expect the Warriors to improve this much this fast. Maybe they could surprise us in the playoffs. But unfortunately, Steph's exciting run may be about to come to a screeching halt with the legend Kobe Bryant in the way in round 1. Steph has had a great run this season, but only in year 2, and with the rest of his team mostly inexperienced as well, they stood no chance against the Black Mamba, who was tearing through the weak Golden State defense, wrapping this one up in a blink of an eye, eliminating the Warriors. But for Steph to already get some playoff experience, there was optimism moving forward, which we'd see firsthand in the 2012 season, where Steph was averaging nearly the exact same stats as last year, continuing to drive the offense, but now he'd have some help. The Warriors drafted sharpshooter Klay Thompson, only adding to the spacing around Steph. So now, even more so than before, the paint was a canvas, and Steph looked like Picasso as he slashed to the rim without regard for anyone in the way, resulting in the Warriors landing their franchise best record heading into the playoffs. And this time, things were already starting to look night and day. Up against a proven Dynasty Spurs team, the Warriors rolled into town like a team on a mission. Not only was all of his supporting cast locked in, but Steph was like nothing the basketball world has ever seen before, taking over this series and shocking the world as they sweep San Antonio to advance to round 2. But now they'd be facing off against the Lakers again. And as the two top records clash, Kobe surely wasn't about to go down without a fight. Except this year, Golden State was significantly better than the last time they matched up. Of course, the addition of Klay's shooting and defense was major, but even just the improvement to Steph's game was making a huge difference. So now this season, instead of Bryant easily willing the Lakers to win after win, we'd instead see both sides retaliating back and forth, each eager to push their team forward to the conference finals. And with that, it would be no surprise that after a grueling 6 games, a win of the series had yet to be decided, meaning this one would all boil down to a final Game 7, putting Curry to his first major test of this reality. And in the biggest moment of his young career so far, Steph was stepping up to the importance of the moment, scoring at will every trip down and doing his part to give his team their best opportunity to advance. Yet that wasn't going to be enough, because they'd run into the same issues as last season, with their youth getting in the way, and with Bryant being just as hot as Steph, this one would be ending with LA clearly on top. Kobe with the ball, a pull-up J. Kobe hits it, puts him up by just about 20. 90 seconds left in the game. Steph's going to be losing his first ever Game 7, but with as good as the Warriors already are, I wouldn't be surprised if they take that leap to the next level very soon. But I don't believe any of us could possibly have guessed just how quickly that would be, because the following season, Curry was elevating to an unbelievable level. With his natural talent starting to catch up to his shooting abilities and newfound dunking skills, the league was Steph's for the taking, pouring in a new career high in points, leading the entire association in scoring, all while shooting with incredible efficiency, and the league had no choice but to take notice. Was not expecting an MVP this early in Steph's career, but he got one here and absolutely deserved it. 32 points as a member of the 50-40-90 club. Him being able to dunk the ball has completely elevated his game to another level and has been a lot of fun to watch. And that stellar play was continuing in the playoffs, coming out on top against the Grizzlies in the first round after a slight scare going to 6, but then making a statement by finally overcoming LA in round 2, sweeping the team that's been their kryptonite for years. And then in the conference finals against the Nuggets, Steph and his crew weren't letting this opportunity slip away from them, and only year 4 making it to their first NBA finals with the confidence that they can win it all. Because even though they were facing the defending champions, Golden State was looking like the better team, catching Miami off guard, not only stunning them in game 1 at home, but following that momentum up with 2 more wins in a row, taking a commanding 3-0 lead and threatening to sweep one of the best teams of all time. But LeBron surely wouldn't go out that easy. He was about to bring the Warriors back down to reality. One of the greatest super teams ever formed, led by the best player in the league, was guaranteed to retaliate, keeping the season alive in game 4, pushing the series back to their home court for another do-or-die game, where LeBron James would have one of the greatest finals matches of all time, logging in a 50-point triple-double, getting his group within 1, and then in game 6, backed by D-Wade turning back the clock, letting off a barrage of baskets, the Warriors were at risk of one of the greatest collapses in sports history, trailing this game late with only minutes remaining. The Warriors are at risk of blowing a 3-0 lead. Miami is trying to force the game 7 here. That would be a big blow to Steph's legacy to blow a lead like that in the finals. Even worse than 3-1. Curry with the ball now, though. They're going to Klay Thompson in the post. D-Wade on him. Klay Thompson, I don't know who he thinks he is, but he delivers, gives them the 1-point lead. Miami now on the other end, still desperately trying to claw back into this series. The defending champions trying to halt the Warriors run here. D-Wade off the screen, a pull-up 3. That's not his shot. It's off, fighting for the rebound. David Lee gets it. Klay Thompson off to the races. Only one guy to beat. The behind-the-back move to drive. The second-year Klay. Who is this guy think he is? LeBron on the other end. They find Chris Bosh on an easy roll. They take back the lead. Steph with the ball now, just under 90 seconds remaining. They keep going to Klay Thompson. Can Steph get some looks here in the clutch? They're going to Klay again, aren't they? No, Steph driving in. Mario Chalmers on him. Steph in the post. Steph drop. What is this simulation? Steph can't get by Mario Chalmers. 4 seconds left. The worst play you've ever seen. Klay Thompson pulls it and saves the day. This has been the most crazy jumping I've ever seen, and not in a good way. What is the computer doing? Dwayne Wade gets the screen from Bosh. His pull-up J from deep. It's off. David Lee the board, up by 2 for the Warriors. They have a chance to extend their lead. 50 seconds left between them and the Larry O'Brien trophy. Klay Thompson has the confidence here. He wants the ball again. Bo get the screen. Klay coming around the screen. Klay to pull up. What are we witnessing? Shane Battier to board. Miami an opportunity to tie or take the game, take the lead with the season completely on the line. D-Wade again, driving on a Klay. It's a Wade and Klay battle here in game 6. Shane Battier, some unprecedented, uncharted territory. LeBron James, Richard Jefferson, his future teammate. LeBron sizing him up, 4 seconds left. The hezzy to drive, LeBron, the lay, it's good, ties it up. With the way this game has been going, anything is possible here coming out of this timeout. The shot selection has been questionable at best. Klay with it again. Steph Curry the ball, though. Mario Chalmers on him, the MVP. Sizing up Chalmers, he gets by him. The layover, Bosh! Steph Curry, 0.2 left on the clock. Steph, that might do it. What a shot from Curry. I'm surprised Klay didn't take it unless they get an inbound tip in. This one is over. The Warriors win the championship. Not enough time. It's done. It's done. After that chaotic finish to the season, the Warriors have officially done it. Steph has claimed his first championship of his career 2 years earlier than real life. And as this team celebrates, there seemed to be no limits to how far they could take this, especially when you see how Steph was performing the next season, once again earning the MVP of the league and taking the crown as the top scorer for the 2nd straight season, with no defenses having any solution to slow him down, leading to the NBA's top record of the year. But what happens next may shock you. While the Warriors did make it to the conference finals, Finals, they wouldn't have a chance to defend their title this year because the Memphis Grizzlies and their gritty physical front court had the perfect matchup against the Warriors. Their interior-focused physical style was a nightmare to stop for the small ball defense from the Bay. And with so much defensive pressure on the Warriors' perimeter shooting, Memphis was able to outscore Steph's three-point barrage, leaving the entire world at a loss for words with the end results. I don't even know what to say. Of all the teams that could stop the Warriors, my last guess would have probably been the Clippers. CP3 is cursed. But my second to last guess would probably be the Memphis Grizzlies. They're advancing to the NBA Finals. But as most of us know, the next season is when the Warriors dynasty would start in real life. So as you may predict, now that you give Steph a dunk package that rivals guys like Carter, Wilkins, and Irving, he would be easily matching that successful dynasty that we know, and even take it a step further, averaging a double-double for the 2015 season, while scoring well into the 30-point mark, continuing what's become the standard now for leading the league in scoring, except this time, he wouldn't fall short in the postseason. It would be a match with LeBron in Cleveland, just like in real life, yet this time around, we wouldn't have half of the cinematic duel we got in real life, with the Warriors in a clear driver's seat this time, winning this series after only 5 games with several blowouts, only to work their way through the Western Conference again in 2016, backed by an even more statistically impressive season from Steph, breaking the 35-point mark as an average en route to a rematch with Cleveland in this year's finals. Of course, this season, LeBron would historically lead his team to a ring after a 3-1 comeback, but in this reality, he wouldn't even be close to accomplishing such a feat, with Curry averaging a bewildering 42 points a game, putting up likely the greatest final performances the future of this game will ever see, as the Warriors do it yet again, crushing Cleveland's hopes in this reality, and the Warriors were only getting started. Signing Kevin Durant in the 2017 season, and just like they already were in real life, this team was absolutely unstoppable. Figured we could quickly mention that Curry's averaging 38 points a game and 11 assists in this first year with KD as this year's MVP. This team, they're not losing. In 2017, sweeping the Cavs to complete the three-peat, then sweeping them again the very following season in 2018 to eventually get to the 2019 season, where they'd surprisingly face Embiid and his Sixers, but even still, the outcome would be about what was expected. The Warriors were crushing them like everyone else in their way, pulling off an unprecedented 5 rings in a row, reaching the start of the end of the Warriors' real-life dynasty. Because the following season, Durant was on the move, now joining the Nets. But for Steph, the Warriors' run wasn't over yet in his mind. He was coming out this year with KD moving on and with Clay out for the season, yet he was still giving it his all to put his team in a position to contend for a ring. Now as the sole All-Star for the first time in years, he was taking on the extra load with flying colors, putting up more huge numbers while still averaging a double-double, and now setting an NBA record, 7 MVPs for his career. Although his historic accomplishment was at risk of being overshadowed in the playoffs, facing LeBron James, who at this point has lost to Steph 5 times in a postseason, and with him never having won a series, he was desperate to finally overcome his biggest rival. But Steph wasn't going to let this be an easy opportunity for him. It may only be Curry now, but with him averaging close to 40 a night in this series, there was a legit possibility that he still had enough for this team to contend. That is, until you take into account that LeBron also had Anthony Davis backing him up, who the Warriors frankly had no answer for, and with him being too much to handle, LA would find themselves up 3-2. And if you remember, the last time LeBron and Curry were 3-2, Steph would win Ring 1 with an unforgettable game winner. So the question now was, in a similar circumstance with the game close, can he hold on while his back is against the wall? We have seen this situation before. Last time it was LeBron trailing 3-2 in the series, but now the script is flipped. It is Steph trailing, trying to keep his season alive. The Lakers have the ball up by 1. Anthony Davis, a pull-up. Not his typical shot, but he gets to go, extends the lead to 3, which is nothing when you have Steph Curry on the other end of the ball, able to tie this thing up at a moment's notice. Timeout, though. Coming out of a timeout, you have to hope that the Warriors drew something up to get back into this game. With about 2 minutes left, you don't have a lot of time to waste here against a very good defensive team here in LA. Curry's getting the screen, Rondo on him, a great defender. Steph tries to kick it to the wing. Dwight plays the lane, gets the steal. Off to the races. Dwight all the way. His lay is good. He puts the Lakers back up by 5. LA extending their lead here in these late moments. Steph Curry with the ball now. It almost feels like you have to score here or this thing could be getting out of hand. Steph coming on the screen, wide open, pull up 3. Sinks it in. It almost came out, but it did go flushing home. Now only down by 2. You have to get a stop if you're the Warriors here. You want to be able to try to claw back in this game before it gets too little, too late. They're going to Anthony Davis in the post. Draymond on him. AD the pump. He's trying to fake Dre. Dre is not jumping at all. Raj on the Rondo. Kicks into Danny Green. The quick trigger. It's off. The Warriors now on the other end. Steph Curry with their swinging it around. Wiggins has in the corner. Anthony Davis guarding him. They like that mismatch. Wiggins driving into the paint. Anthony Davis swats it out of there. 4.3 left on the shot clock. You have to go quick and inbound to Steph. Wide open for the lead. He gets it to give him the lead with a minute remaining. Steph Curry doing it again. Shocking LeBron James in the playoffs. Rondo with the ball. Steph guarding him. LA all of a sudden is now trailing. They go to AD again. AD the pump, nowhere to go. Draymond is there on him. Rondo in the corner doesn't want it. They go to LeBron. They're going right back down to Anthony Davis. They want this matchup. Anthony Davis to drive step the leader. He gets fouled. Anthony Davis does sink both free throws. Now puts the Lakers back up by 1. 40 seconds left in the game. Steph has the ball though. They swing it around to Alec Burks. Burks with Danny Green on him. He's getting the screen. This is not who you want shooting the ball. They get the offensive board though. The putback gives them the lead again. Huge putback for Golden State, but this one is not over just yet. 27 seconds still left in this game. We saw last time Steph Curry was able to beat them essentially at the buzzer. The Lakers looking for the same opportunity here now. Rondo with Steph on him. I think they're going to be going to Anthony Davis again. It's looking like that's the action they want in this left side of the court. They're winding down the clock as much as possible. AD slips the screen. AD in the paint. Dre on him. AD gets him jumping. He didn't take it though. He had to have traveled there. It's off Anthony Davis. The board. Hurst put back. Puts him back up. Unbelievable. The Warriors coming at the timeout though. Can Steph Curry get it done again? We've seen him do it before. They're not even going to him. Burks. Why is the ball not in Steph's hands? The Warriors are eliminated. Wow. The Warriors were falling flat after 5 straight years of winning, and this wasn't the end of the heartbreak. Come the 2021 season, for the first time so far, we were finally seeing Curry's age showing, as he would slow down slightly, albeit slowing down for him still meant cracking 29 points per night. But it was the first time in several years that he didn't hit the 30 mark, and his MVP streak would finally end. But along with that, so would his playoff streak, completely missing them entirely this season. I was not expecting the Warriors to miss the playoffs. Post Dynasty, Steph and his squad are kind of struggling, which continue to be true, because while they would of course win in 2022 just like they did in real life, now backed with an even better Steph, following that victory, things were continuing to look bleak. Finding themselves in round 1 against the Timberwolves in 2023 and being completely outclassed by the surging roster led by Edwards, the Warriors would be back on the losing side of things here, only to fail to make the playoffs the year after, losing in the play-in against the Blazers. Steph has made it back to the pinnacle. He has Jimmy Butler on the team. The last year of the simulation. Can he ride off into the sunset with one last win? And there's only one way to find out. And this final showdown will be a culmination of everything leading up to this moment. The ups and downs of Steph's career, the same as we'd see in this series. With the Pacers taking an early 2-1 lead, it was looking like the Warriors were about to face defeat again. But just as quickly, they'd retaliate, with Steph again having a star teammate by his side, representing the ups of his career during the Dynasty years, pushing the team back in front after 5. For one final Game 6, where Steph would be sending the Pacers off in typical Curry fashion. This simulation may have been all about Steph becoming a great dunker, but at the end of the day, this is the greatest shooter of all time. And in his final bow, he'd set an NBA record with 15 3-pointers made, closing out this year's finals with one more ring added to his collection and closing out his career as the possible GOAT. But you'll have to let me know in the comments if these accomplishments are enough to claim that title, or could it be somebody else? Like maybe Wemby, if he played in the 90s, which you can watch next by clicking this video.